After every new update, like the Season 3 update, I do like to make these kind of videos, which is all about SMGs. And in this video, we're going to be going over what are the 6 best SMGs to use after the Season 3 update. If you do enjoy content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 50k subscribers. Also, click that link in the description down below and subscribe to our second channel. We do post extra content over there, but let's get straight into it. As always, what we've done is we've taken the data from the sim.gg website for chest shot TTKs at 300 HP, put it into our spreadsheet right here so we can do a full comparison. Also, I do want to mention chest shot TTKs are not absolutely everything. Obviously, a mixed shot location would make way more sense and give us a better understanding of each weapon, but we will be working on that in the future. But for now, this should give us a good understanding of each weapon. Keep in mind, rebirth, certain weapons will become a bit more valuable as well because it is less health. But overall, this will work out what are the kind of best 6 weapons when it comes to SMGs overall. Now, when it comes to TTKs, we're mainly focusing on that close range TTK, so the first damage drop off point. So we're going to arrange this in terms of close range TTK because that's what we're mainly focusing on here, especially weapons that you compare with assault rifles. So first of all, we have the OWEN gun, and that is going to be the fastest close range TTK SMG in the game. Now, this has got a slightly changed build to probably what you're used to using, so I will stay tuned for the actual build itself because we have adjusted this to give it a fast TTK. Then we've got Type 100, and this got a slight buff to visual recoil, so it can be a solid option still, but I do think the actual recoil of the weapon is still pretty bad, so overall I don't really think the Type 100 is going to be one of the best weapons. Then we've got the MP40, and again we have adjusted the build for this weapon as well, so that it does have a very competitive TTK. It's not the build that we've been using previously. Then we've got the Sten, which is pretty solid in my opinion. The Sten's probably the fastest moving SMG out of the Vanguard weapons. But overall, we've got the OTS here as well, which is not too far behind, and people like Cold War SMGs a bit more. Then we've got the Modern Warfare AUG, which is a solid SMG to use as well. Modern Warfare MP5, well gun with an adjusted build as well. The Lapa with the rifled barrel now, because the rifled barrel is actually better on Caldera, and then the BR compact barrel is actually better on Rebirth. So it's actually a mix-up of attachments depending on what game mode you're playing. Then we've got the PPSH from Vanguard with that kind of hipfire build. And then the rest of the weapons down below. The Armageddon is a solid option now as well, especially after the changes that they made to this weapon. So like I said, most of these builds have been adjusted to make sure you're getting the fastest possible close range TTK while still giving you decent recoil control. Now, it's not going to be the best when you compare it to some of the sniper support builds in the later on video, but when it comes to close range, you should be able to control these weapons. First of all, we do have the well gun at number 6. This is a solid weapon to use, and we've adjusted quite a few things with this build because we've had a few different nerfs to this weapon. So first of all, we do want to use the recoil booster. That's a given. When it comes to the barrel, we're actually using the Gawaiian short barrel and not the shrouded barrel. The reason for that is because the shrouded barrel usually helps with the recoil control, the damage range, all that good stuff. But the Gawaiian's going to give us a faster fire rate and therefore a faster TTK. And this is what's actually giving us that more competitive TTK here. Now, we're actually using the hand stop under barrel because we want that recoil control back in the weapon. It does help an absolute ton. So I would recommend using this attachment for recoil control instead of some of the others. Then we're using the 64 round mags instead of the Grenko 40 round mags, which used to be the most popular ones, because the 64 round mags actually give you the faster TTK now, and they're a bit more consistent in terms of different shot locations. So overall, the 64 round mags are the best way to go, and especially on Caldera, I think it's just a no-brainer anyway. Then we've got lengthened, the fabric grip, fleet, the remove stock for the better movement speeds overall, and the slate reflector I think is the best optic when it comes to SMGs, or you can go for iron sights if you really want to. At number 5, if you need to use a Modern Warfare SMG, then the Modern Warfare MP5 is the best option in my opinion. You need to build it a bit more for movement, so that means no Merc foregrip, no mono suppressor, but you can use the integral suppressor. I would probably even recommend the subsonic, if I was being perfectly honest, to give you a bit more aim down sight speed. But like I said, the monolithic integral should be good enough. 5mm laser for better hip fire accuracy, collapsible stock for better overall movement speeds and aim down sight time, stipple grip, or you can go for sleight of hand, and then the 45 round mags. This will move a little bit quicker than the Merc foregrip build. Next up, we have the Lapa SMG, which I think is a really solid SMG. If it had clean iron sights, it would be an even better option in my opinion, because we could use that Microflex LED optic attachment slot for something else, maybe like a serpent wrap or something, and that would make this gun even quicker. So I wish they made the iron sights in this gun a lot cleaner, but we just need to go with what we've got, and the Microflex LED is something that's an absolute must on this weapon. Now, like I said, the BR compact barrel is the best when it comes to rebirth because you got 250 HP, but then the rifled barrel, which is the one that's actually locked for me here at level 39, is the one that's going to be best on Caldera. Now, if you don't believe me, you can check out the stats on the sim.gg website. It will show you all the breakdowns, but you will get the faster TTK on Caldera with the rifled barrel under here. Then we've got the bruiser grip for the faster movement speeds, of course. We've got the sound suppressor, which is what I would recommend for any SMG when it comes to the Cold War options. You still get bullet velocity, you still get the faster ADS times and stuff, and you just get better overall movement with the sound suppressor over the agency. And then the 40 round or the 50 round mags is going to come down to personal preference here. At number 3, we have a lot of people's favourite SMG, the OTS-9. This gun did take a bit of a backseat when it comes to TTKs and just overall being a good SMG in the game for a while. Now it's back since a lot of the other SMGs got a bit of a nerf. So overall TTKs are very solid with this gun. Iron sights are pretty clean too. And overall movement, we already know, is one of the fastest moving guns in the game. So that is why it's always going to be solid. We're using the regular sound suppressor, which I always recommend when it comes to Cold War weapons. The Task Force barrel for the better strafing speeds. Bruiser grip for better movement, 40 round fast mags, and then the serpent wrap for a better ADS time. You could remove the bruiser grip or the serpent wrap, put on an optic or a stock, or even the no stock attachment, but that is probably, in my opinion, the best OTS build you can get right now. At number 2, we have the MP40. Now, the reason why the MP40 is number 2, not number 1, is because it's actually easier to use, but doesn't kill just as quick as number 1. But overall, it's still a very fast TTK SMG, and with this new build, it still is absolutely shredding inside Warzone right now. You can even use this as a sniper support if you really wanted to, because the recoil is super low, and it only has 2 damage drop-off points, and I'll explain why. So, when it comes to the muzzle, recoil booster as always. When it comes to the barrel, we're actually using the VDD short barrel, which actually got a nerf with the update, but is still the best barrel to use on the MP40, and this is what's giving the gun only 2 damage drop-off points. If you use the Krosnik, you actually get 3 damage drop-off points with this barrel, so you're better off with a short pretty much always. Slate reflector, once again, just to make sure you're getting your shots on target. Remove stock to get the better movement and hip fire accuracy. I would always go with steady when it comes to SMGs. You can go for perfectionist if you really wanted to, but I just like the better movement because we're using other recoil controlling attachments anyway. Perk 2 is quick. You can also use on hand for better aim down sight speed, but I don't really think you need it. Fabric grip for the better sprint to fire, hip fire, and ADS time. Grenko 45 round mags is still the best mags when it comes to the MP40. This is going to give you the fastest TTK when combining it with the short barrel. Lengthened, and then the hand stop under barrel. Now, this is not really an attachment I would always recommend on SMGs because I think it would slow you down a bit, but in this case, it always works, especially with a lot of the changes they've done to the SMGs. I think the hand stop under barrel is probably the best attachment at controlling recoil at the moment. And last but not least, at number 1, and even though a lot of the attachments got a nerf with the OWEN gun, it's still the fastest killing SMG for close range. And the attachments you want to be using here are the recoil booster, which is a given. The rapid barrel, now it did get a bit of a nerf when it comes to how much it increases your fire rate, but it still increases your fire rate an absolute ton, so the rapid barrel is always going to be the best option. Then the slate reflector, once again, you can go for that hybrid optic, so it pushes the mags below your screen, but I just think the slate reflector is better, plus it doesn't con your ADS time. The remove stock for better movement speeds because it's going to be the best to give you overall faster movement. The OWEN gun does move pretty slow without it. Fleet, again, for better movement speeds and weapon swap. Quick, again, for better movement speeds. Fabric grip for the faster ADS and sprint to fire and hip fire accuracy. So overall, we're just getting a lot of benefits with this grip here. Then the 72 round standard mag, so 9mm 72 round mags, not the Grenko mags, because that does give you a faster fire rate and better recoil control, but they nerfed the neck multiplier on this, and overall it just gives you a slower TTK now anyway, so you want to use the standard 72 round mags. Now, obviously you're not going to get as much recoil control, and that is why I went for the hand stop under barrel once again to get that recoil control back in the weapon. And this is going to make this weapon the best SMG to use in the game right now. It's also a very solid sniper support. It just has a bit more recoil than it did before. So there we have it. Those are the 6 best close range weapons to use inside Warzone right now. I do want to give a quick honorable mention to the Jak 12 shotgun. Now, if you are a shotgun fan, this is the fastest killing gun at close range in the entire game. It even beats out the OWEN gun. It's just not quite as versatile as the OWEN gun in my opinion, and that's why I don't really think it's going to be as good as the SMG options you have. But if you did want to use something different, then the Jak 12 is a solid option. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 50k subscribers. Click that link and subscribe to our second channel as well. And thank you very much for watching.